Now in this video, I'm going to run you through a few reference points that we're going to be using when we cut hair. The first one, let's start out with, is the apex. We can find this by taking a comb, tipping it back and forth on the top of the head here and here, and you're going to find the apex. So from the apex, if I was to cross two combs, the very front part of my combs is actually going to be the bang or fringe area, and the back part of my combs is going to be the crown. Now I'm sure you well know the crown is usually full of a bunch of funky growth patterns, colics, and it's an area that you're going to want to definitely analyze before you start your haircut. So you can find the parietal ridge by taking your comb, pushing it up against the head flat, right where it leaves the scalp. That's the parietal ridge, and it travels 360 degrees around the head. Typically speaking, if I put a skin line in on the parietal ridge or above it, that's definitely going to be a high fade. The next reference is going to be the temporal area. The temporal area actually extends all the way up to almost the back of the ear. And right where it dips in is usually where you're going to see a shadow. Any overhead lighting is going to cause a shadow in this area, and this can be a difficult area to blend in. But when we put in our tapers, anything like that, we're going to talk about the temporal area. The C cups are kind of part of the temporal area. That's the edge of them. And you're going to see that little C shape that's usually present in the majority of people's hairline. And above that, you have what we call the vertical bars, the two little straight bars that come down. And typically speaking, when I do an edge up, I want to see them slant back slightly, but we're always going to try to preserve as much of the client's hairline as possible, because when their hairline grows back, it makes them look bad and it makes you look bad. The occipital bone is the bone that protrudes out of the base of the skull. If I was to draw a line straight across from the occipital bone, the area below that is called the nape. Some people are going to have bumps, rolls, or all kinds of stuff, and it's going to be difficult usually to blend in this area. So we're going to decide when we put our skin line in exactly where we want to put it that's going to make it the easiest to blend out. You'll see this little circle here. What we talked about in the skin line positioning was putting in a rainbow guideline so that the fade can disperse and preserve some of this edge. Because at the very back of your haircut, whenever you try to line it up, you'll notice that you can never quite get one hook the same as the other, and that's because more than likely when you were blending, you kind of removed one side. So now that we understand our reference points, let's head over to the membership tab and let's dive into phase one, or whatever phase you're on. So I want to shout out you guys for being members. I appreciate it greatly. We've put a lot of work into this programming, and I'm glad that you guys are learning all this stuff that you're going to need to know if you want to master barbering. If you're considering being a member, go ahead and join. It's $5.99 a month, and you'll get access to exclusive content like this. So now that we got our machine set up correctly, we know how to put the skin line in, we know where to put it, and we know our reference points. Let's go ahead and let's head over to phase one.